David,
Yeah.
why are you so ponied up?
Just wearing a polo on a Friday, keeping it easy.
What is your drink of choice right now?
Water.
With in what kind of cup?
Oh, it's an SMU cup. Yeah. No, it was a present.
I'm not
Yeah.
shaming you. It's a fine institution.
Yeah,
It
that's
uh
right.
it it is based in University Park.
Yeah, which just invested in a beautiful crosswalk bricklaying project that is somehow acceptable to the state of Texas, even though others aren't.
Is there brick indoctrinating me? Probably is in
It
some way,
probably
right? We can
is. Yeah.
politicize anything now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah. I mean, do we want to start with the whole, state of Texas telling all the cities that they got to remove their rainbow crosswalks because we're already alluding
Yes,
to it?
yes, but I also want to put a
Yeah.
pin in the reason
Okay.
I am making a joke about where SMU is that our mayor doesn't know where it is.
Yeah.
So, Greg is super mad at rainbow crosswalks.
Yeah.
He made the dumbest fucking threat any governor has ever made, and all the dumb shits around here and in other places actually believed it was important.
Yeah.
This is a symphony of idiocy. Just no notes. No one can be dumber.
Yeah.
So Greg says if you used public money to put any form of uh, what did he say? Political indoctrination on the street.
Yeah.
So this would include South Dallas's Black Lives Matter crosswalks.
Hmm.
Um, so it could include a whole lot of things. Um, Presumably not a Proud Boys crosswalk. Um,
I
but
don't think those you have to go to Keller for those.
we, we haven't tested that theory yet. And the other thing was it had to be funded by public money.
Yeah.
So here's what Greg Abbott doesn't know. Almost every crosswalk that isn't a very simple DOT approved crosswalk is funded by its local community, including the rainbow crosswalks on Cedar Springs.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, as someone who was there at the time, they had been asking for rainbow crosswalks for 10 years, probably before I got to council. And they got told the same thing every time, which is if you pay for it, yes, absolutely, go ahead. And that back in the days when Cedar Springs was run by by Cavan Enterprises, the um, the most LGBTQ friendly corporation in Dallas, and also the tightest, most skinflint organization in Dallas. That was more or less a permanent delay on any sort of rainbow crosswalks because they were absolutely not going to fucking pay for that.
Yeah.
um, so they eventually raised all the money and paid for the rainbow crosswalks, and so that's not public money, and they're allowed to have that. And if the city of Dallas goes and tries to remove those, they actually have kind of a legal claim there.
You mean not the city of Dallas, but the individuals that put it in through private funds, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
If
yeah,
you
yeah, I
if you
agree with you.
pay if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
pay for that and the city of Dallas fucking paints over that shit or
yeah,
something, I mean, goddamn, that's wrong.
yeah. I mean, my understanding is that the city of Dallas plans to reach out to the state and ask for clarification, essentially try to make it clear that city, public funds did not pay for any of this. But ironically, the edict would actually make it where our, tax dollars, our general operating fund out of the city would have to pay to resolve this. So it's essentially just like an unfunded mandate that nobody here locally wants.
Well, okay, yes, but
Yeah.
dumb part number two.
Okay.
What was the threat that Greg made?
The withholding of transportation funds. And I think that is coming from federal Department of Transportation, right? Because
Well, all
Duffy,
state, so the way that the Federal Highway Administration operates is that it distributes funds directly to the state DOTs.
yeah.
This is one of the ways in which Eisenhower's great idea for the interstate highway system was corrupted and
Hmm.
turned into a pork barrel for HB Zachary and all
Yeah.
the other big construction companies, and why we have urban highways, which he
Yeah.
never
Terrible.
intended for us to have.
Yeah.
He had seen the Autobahn, and everybody who's been to Germany knows that the Autobahn doesn't run through medieval villages, you
Yeah.
know? Dumb part number two. If Greg withholds tech stop funding, which by the way is also illegal,
Hmm.
uh, we don't fucking care. We do not fucking care. There's not one project you can name when anybody really wants that tech stop funding. If we didn't have the tech stop funding, we wouldn't be suffering I-345.
That's fair. But doesn't the majority of council want to suffer through I-345? I mean, isn't that the problem?
I don't know. I don't actually know. That's an
I
interesting question. I think
I
a lot of them are going along with a compromise solution that they think is the right compromise because otherwise Royce and the commissioner are going to call them racists.
yeah, I
I mean,
guess
a
I
very
mean under your
progressive member of
scenario,
Congress refused to help us with this strictly because she, hint, was worried that it was that it was seen as a race issue.
yeah, but I mean that's essentially the problem is like if you okay, if under your scenario, like if you allowed council to cast like a secret ballot type of thing, like yeah, maybe you could get 8 votes. But I mean basically like only Ridley and West were really willing to go kind of publicly against I-345, right? Like even a lot of the other
Oh
like
no,
good.
Omar for sure would have flipped. Easily. Easily. Jesse would have flipped. I like this
Oh,
really
actually,
is
Jesse, actually, Modeno, to his credit, wasn't he kind of publicly like it was Modeno, West, and Ridley were kind of the. I mean, West and Ridley were more vocal, but
well, the problem that Jesse had, which I sympathize with, this wasn't Jesse's fault.
yeah.
The fucking Deep Ellum Foundation, the public improvement
Oh
district that
yeah,
manages
they
Deep
fucked this
Ellum,
up. Yeah,
told
yeah,
him that they wanted this.
yeah, which
There,
is
and I
stupid.
got to tell you, I
That's
know those
idiotic.
people. The reason Deep Ellum doesn't work is partly because the city doesn't do a good job. It's all partly also partly because the landlords are fucking morons.
Yeah,
Like the dumbest, just absolutely stupid as shit. Now,
yeah,
I'm sure this is going to get back to Madison, and Madison kind of gets a pass because they're not really in control. But seriously, that vote, and I talked to Madison's representative on that board, and he was not a fan of it. But, Westdale is the gorilla in the room there, and they're really goddamn stupid.
yeah. That's fair. No, I mean, somehow this devolved into a 345 conversation, which is
Sorry.
arguably the most
This is my
important
theory,
city issue
David.
that
This is
nobody
this is
talks
my
about.
theory of municipal government.
Yeah.
All of the good things that we want, and all of the bad things that are bothering us, all the things that we're suffering, they're all tied together. They're
Yeah.
all the same problem.
Yeah.
So, housing is a problem because transportation is a problem.
Yeah.
Transportation is a problem because corruption is a problem. Like
Yeah.
it's just
It's
it
it's
all.
all together.
You pull on one string, you get all of them.
Yeah. But to your point, like, you know, West, Royce West, yeah, we keep talking about West, but there's State Senator Royce West, Council Member Chad West on
But
council.
I use West for
Russ
Chad, Royce for
Royce.
Royce,
Okay.
the commissioner for
For John
John
Wiley
Wiley.
Price. Okay, fair enough.
Because
I
no matter how much the other commissioners want to matter, he's the commissioner who matters.
can't argue with that. Yeah, but I mean there's just with 345, like it's hard to envision council boulevarding it, like getting the 8 votes to actually boulevard it. Like the opportunity was a couple years ago, and basically everyone passed. Everyone did the compromise, because it was clear that nobody except for probably Chad West and Paul Ridley were willing to actually, do the right thing publicly and
A
take the hits.
generational display of cowardice.
Yeah. I mean, I I get the pressure they were under, but yeah, that if that's probably the single biggest blunder that council has made like in the past like 4 years or so, 6 years, something like that.
Because of the impact.
Yeah, the impact is
They've
just so
done dumber
brutal.
things. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
fair
talk
enough.
to them, they have reasons, we may
Hmm.
not agree with their reasons, but it's not necessarily that they're cowardly or dishonest.
Yeah.
It's just that the impact of this thing is going to be generationally bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably single most impactfully terrible thing this council has done. Like under the Eric Johnson mayoralship. Um,
Although a close second is the convention center.
yeah, fair
So
enough.
anyway, back to Greg Abbott's idiocy. Threatening cities with a loss of tech dot funding is definitely threatening them with a good time.
Yeah.
And I had a little bit of an old white man moment this week because I was struggling for the metaphor for that. And the way I was raised, the metaphor for that is briar patch, as in don't throw me in that briar patch. And that's definitely not okay anymore. So we're we're retiring that.
Okay, good to know. Yeah. I mean, I'm really curious to see where all this lands. Like I think because of what it is, council will have the political courage to do some public things trying to save this stuff. I do think that, residents want it, the local community wants it. That'll like it's almost like the flip of like a 345 where like with 345 like I don't think a lot of people were paying attention, but like if you were to survey just like a person off the street like in like Resenda's or Basildua's district, they would probably be status quo biased to keep it like 345. And that status quo bias plus just normal values on the flip side on like the crosswalk issue is also a, we should try to keep it thing. So it is like representing the constituents of Dallas and doing what the general public wants. Um, I've also, just the ironic thing about this too, obviously like Abbott and Duffy and all them are doing this because like they just hate gay people. But I have read like evidence in the past that kind of decorative crosswalks and other things like that can actually help with, like not traffic calming, but like safety, because it essentially ends the monotony of road and sidewalk stuff, and make people more likely to pay attention, like if you're a driver, it makes you more likely to look at the crosswalk and do you know who's on the crosswalks? Like human beings that are not in giant cars, so you're less likely to hit them type of thing. So uh it's all just so stupid. I hope the city's able to save them. I mean, I think that there's, a strong economic argument too. Like, not to say that, places like Wichita Falls and Tyler and places like that are super, have a community that's super anti-LGBT, but I mean, like a lot of Oak Lawn and that part of Dallas tourism is really based on like the fact that we are a regional hub for being a safe place for LGBT individuals to come and like just be themselves. And I think, the state obviously doesn't care, but the city does care a lot about like the dollars that brings into Dallas.
I am so impressed with the last, I don't know, 45 seconds of what you said that anything I would add to it would just make it less smart. That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And what, it is maybe worth mentioning, maybe not, who knows? It's our show. We can do it. the reason you need really good crosswalks on Cedar Springs is because the Merchants Association, which was controlled by Cabin at the time, turned down several $1 million to reconfigure Cedar Springs into a 3 lane that would
Oh,
be
wow.
enormously safer and better
Yeah,
for retail.
of
But
course.
the other insult that I didn't throw at Cabin earlier when I called them chintzy was that they're really old and they don't understand traffic at all.
No.
They they seriously they literally Madrano and I both put money in the bond package to do this, and then they turned it down. They threatened to protest us if we tried to change their street. And so we were
Wow.
just like, okay, fuck it. Who cares? Like, just we can move that money somewhere else. It's fine.
Yeah,
Now, the good news is Cavan sold out 100% of their holdings over there to Mike Ablon, who
yeah,
is a pretty urbanist
yeah.
thinker, pretty good developer. And so it might be worth re-examining that issue at some point, but it won't be me.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, let's talk for a second. Like under a world where Mike Ablon wins that 2019 election, or is Dallas better off?
Yeah,
Go.
yeah.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
I mean, okay, here's another exercise that's fun. Name the person who would be worse. You
Uh,
can start with the people in that race.
yeah. No, like status quo. Yeah. No, it's fair.
Literally the worst person won.
Yeah, but we didn't know it at the time.
We really didn't. I told people it'd all be fine, that it would be so
Yeah.
much better than Rawlings.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever said it like on the show, but like if I had had a ranked choice voting ballot back then, Eric like might have been something like my third choice. Like
Yes,
somewhere in that range. Like would not have
Griggs, Miguel, Eric.
yeah, that might have been similar to mine. And like
Although I would probably be coin flip between Regina and Eric.
yeah, and then I really love like Albert Black too as a person. Great man. You know, who else was in that race? There was too many
Lynn
people. Lynn, yeah. Yeah, I mean it was a lot of like
and
actually like
and
good
it,
human
look,
beings.
I have gotten to know Lynn
Yeah,
and have gotten to like her better and better. And
yeah,
also, she actually lives in Dallas now.
yeah. I mean it's funny because like back in 2019 you could argue and obviously like I'm a firm believer like this like the state of Texas has made municipal governments nonpartisan like we should try to keep them generally nonpartisan which is different than like values ideology to be clear but like blah 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 like it's nonpartisan but what's funny is like back in 2019 like Eric Johnson was a Democrat and Lynn McBee was like arguably like a Republican leaning independent type of thing like maybe a Republican like and it was like it was
Maddie
debatable.
Parker, carbon copy.
Yeah, fair enough. Versus like now, like Eric is like MAGA Republican and Lynn might be considered like a center left Dem leaning independent, like like kind of like that. So like essentially the two of them have like flipped,
Hmm.
kind of, and it's just kind of funny.
Yeah. And there's something about the Overton window moving there too. I'm not sure what it
Yeah,
is.
I don't know.
Okay, so even though we spent a minute on that, the top story of the last couple weeks is probably whether Eric is resigning, whether that notion came from him.
Yeah,
I have opinions, but
yeah,
I wasn't there. I mean, this
yeah,
apparently arose at his birthday party. He said something the day before Texas OU
yeah.
that caused people to think he was imminently resigning. Um,
It was
and
that was the birthday party at Mi Casino in the park, right?
mhm.
Yeah. Great, great event, I'm sure. I was not invited, unfortunately, but I'm sure everyone had a good time.
uh, I have been invited in the past,
Yeah,
and I'm not invited now. None of
that's
that is
okay.
a surprise to me.
That's okay.
One year I was invited. I really couldn't go. I wasn't in town,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, it was tense.
Hmm.
It was very tense to tell Eric that I couldn't be at his thing.
That's fair. But I mean, like,
He wasn't even mayor back then.
yeah, I actually do think that birthday fundraiser is and the next day where like Eric is that's like Eric the mayor living his best mayoral life. And that's why a bunch of like people way more connected than me and smarter than me were like saying like, oh, the mayor's resigning. Like, and I think we were all hearing this that it was coming Wednesday or something like that. Like it was days and days of chatter. And like I never believed it. And I think that's because like I love municipal stuff, but like my background is more in like federal
Hmm.
and that kind of stuff. And like I could not see even though he's done a great heel turn, like what is Eric gonna run for and like what can he win? Like this whole like chatter, like he's gonna run for attorney general, like he's like he would get destroyed in that primary unless Donald Trump himself came in and said, "Hey, I love Eric Johnson. He's the next attorney general of Texas," which I do not think Trump would do.
No.
So like the notion that he was gonna run for AG just like never made any sense. Like
Also, the timing's super fucked up.
yeah, the
Like,
timing doesn't make any sense
it's
either.
not time to announce. And
No.
this and candidates, hear me. If you've
Yeah.
announced for an office, I am criticizing you. It's too fucking early.
Yeah.
Like it is too fucking early.
With some exceptions. Some
Anna used to
exceptions. Yeah.
say, "He who goes first is the stupidest." And I think it's true. It's too
Yeah.
early. Like
Yeah.
filing closes 14 months from now
For
for
Attorney
the
General?
primary.
No, no, I mean filing closes in December.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh, this is 2025. I'm sorry, I went back in time.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, I mean now is like an acceptable time to announce in general, especially given like there's already four candidates in the race. The problem is like he just didn't have a path. Like there's like the former Democrat who voted for saving abortion and, like democratic like education priorities.
Yeah.
Like it just never really made any sense without somebody big coming in and saving his ass. And I bring up like this past weekend is especially like not making sense. Like this was the mayor really living his best life. Like this was Friday, go to Me Casino in the Park, the most important people in the city and hell, the state are coming in and celebrating you. And then Saturday, he goes to the SMU football game in the morning and gets to like light fireworks and then like goes to Texas, Oklahoma in the afternoon and gets to do that stuff. And then, I mean, it's just like a weekend of like the best ceremonial stuff you will have as like Dallas mayor. And
Yes.
it's just like, why would you leave that to go get your butt kicked in a Republican primary and then become like completely irrelevant within 6 months? Doesn't make any sense.
So there are two potential explanations. There might be more than two. The two that come to my mind are the Ron Kirk explanation.
Hmm.
When Ron quit to run for Senate, he knew he wasn't winning.
Yeah.
Like Ron is ridiculous smart.
Yeah.
He's most smart about politics over anything else too. So he knew he wasn't, but he had a sense, and I don't know if he'd had communications with somebody or what, that was going to give him some credit in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
He
And it
was
did.
taking one for the team, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that made sense to me. He also ran a good campaign, and we would
Yeah.
be better off if he won. So that
Yeah.
like all that is
Yeah.
very valid
And
and frankly, wholesome.
yeah. And for folks that don't know, he was the only Texan to join the Obama administration just 7 years after that in a cabinet level position.
And so did he know that? No way, because he
No,
didn't know Obama was going to win. Nobody
no.
did.
But to your point, like it was probably going to be some kind of like the next Democratic president was going to appoint him to something.
I think that's right. At
Yeah,
least I think that's partly what he thought. Also,
and it worked.
he might have been fucking tired of it, and he
Yeah,
has the ability to support himself, unlike the current mayor.
yeah,
So there are a lot of reasons that that could have been that are all kind of like smart reasons,
yeah,
or it could be the Tom Leppert reasons, which is that he really thought he could win,
yeah.
and anybody observe you or me or anybody sort of halfway connected to politics would have said, "You're going to finish fifth," which he did.
Hey, no, he finished third.
No, I thought Craig James beat him.
No, no, Leopard finished third.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like 99% sure. But I mean, he still lost pretty bad, you know. Yeah, because that never made any sense. Like it was apparent Leopard wasn't gonna win.
But
Yeah,
I tend to think Eric is pretty smart. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I
I agree.
mean, honestly, I think he's very, very smart. And I
Yeah,
think that the mistakes he makes are the result of things that are not intellectual, they're more emotional.
yeah. Because I mean, we've kind of like mentioned this several times before, but like not saying he has to do everything like a you or I say, but there were so many people in the city like you and me that were rooting for him, and like he just completely lost that trust and support.
Yeah, for reasons that are very hard to explain.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's fair.
And as I'm being critical here, let me say that I also have some intellectual capability, and the mistakes I make are also the result of emotion.
Yeah, fair. Uh, God. Yeah, so I mean, Mayor Eric Johnson, like he's staying the in very typical Mayor Johnson fashion. And like I both love it and hate it, but like Dallas Morning News wrote a very well-written article Tuesday afternoon, basically trying to get a jump on every other outlet in the city of essentially saying like is the mayor resigning tomorrow? And then Eric posted like the most aggressive, not even passive aggressive, just aggressive tweet in response to it, basically saying like I can't read this because it's behind a paywall.
That
Like
was
and
fun.
obvious and that was funny.
That was fun.
That was funny. Um, and obviously like he has a subscription because the city has a subscription. Like all he has to do is like text his staff or email his staff just saying like, "Hey, I forgot my password. Like send me this PDF."
The mayor's office
Oh,
still has
yeah.
a paper subscription.
Yeah, that too. But it was a late Tuesday story, so they needed digital. But then he basically said like I'm not leaving anywhere and like posted like a Wolf of Wall Street gif of uh of Leo DiCaprio's character like basically saying like I'm not leaving.
Okay, I know I'm old as
Great
fuck,
great tweet.
but we are not doing GIF. That word is GIF. The guy who wrote the code
Yeah.
calls it GIF.
Okay. That's fine.
So
But yeah,
yeah,
so he's staying.
that the whole story, honest to God, was just fun, right?
Yeah, it was a fun weekend of like everyone freaking out. Um,
And we don't have to talk a lot about this, but it is worth pointing out that the person who would become mayor if he quit is Jesse Moreno, who appeared to all outside observers to be extremely excited about this news.
it's Dwayne Caraway 2.0.
Oh no, I don't think Jesse is crooked.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that. I just meant like the level, like when Leopard resigned and Dwayne got to be mayor
Oh my
from
God.
like February to June. Like like obviously like acting mayors are not real mayors, and like that needs to be made clear. You get the powers of the mayor, but like it's not like vice president. Like it's not that like the president resigns or dies and like you are the actual president. Like you're
Mhm.
acting mayor because like Dwayne was still District 4 council member, like
Correct.
Jesse would still be District 2 council member. And then when they show up to the horseshoe, it's like you get to sit in that chair, I guess, type of
You do get to
deal.
set the agenda.
Yeah, yeah, you get the mayoral powers, like set the agenda, blah, 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 blah. But you're not like real mayor, but like in that like 2011 stretch, like Dwayne just like loved the pomp and circumstance of it.
What is the most memorable thing he did?
You tell me.
Give Michael Vick the key to the city. And this is pre-redemption Michael Vick. This is before Michael Vick became a good person again.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the actual key to the city
Oh
because
no.
that award, which we
Mhm.
rarely give to anybody,
Yeah.
is managed by the city's protocol office, which
Uh-huh.
at that time was contracted out to the what is it, the World Forum or whatever that thing? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
It's a weird little nonprofit that does luncheons.
Yeah.
And so Dwayne just had his own maid
That's amazing.
to give to Michael Vick.
Yeah. I completely forgot about that, but now I remember it. And it was, yeah, that
Younger
was,
listeners will not necessarily remember that Michael Vick was one of the best quarterbacks in the
yeah.
NFL, which did not prevent him from going to jail for dogfighting.
Yeah. And now, wait, is he coaching now?
He probably is. I mean, it's if you're going to name a crime that you would think you cannot come back from,
Yeah.
the only one worse than dogfighting is like child sexual abuse, right?
Yeah.
And
No,
for
so yeah,
whatever,
he's coaching in FCS right now, like the division under like Division 1 football, college.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him um, like make his way back, like
Yeah.
to the NFL. I mean, because
Yeah.
he was
He's
always
smart.
considered, in addition to being ridiculously athletic, he was smart as shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, except for
And
the dog fighting. That's obviously a mistake.
yeah, and every time we end up talking about college football at some point in this, and I've totally forgot Michael Vick played for Virginia Tech, which has an
Oh
open
yeah.
coaching spot right now because they just fired their coach. So you could see
Oh, he would be and what a
which
redemption story.
yeah, and Virginia Tech and SMU are in the same conference now. So if he coaches at Virginia Tech, Michael Vick is going to be coming to Dallas or University Park at some point in the near future.
Well, and he has the key to the city, so
He
he can just do
does.
whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. Well, but will there be a city hall when he
God, we have so much shit to get to. I
Yeah.
want to take one brief diversion
Okay.
into the other major mayor in the Metroplex,
Yeah.
Maddie Parker, who she's had a rough week.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't love it because I actually get along really well with her, and she's actually treated me quite well. So I don't mean to be terribly rude. It does appear that some of this may have been a mistake on her part. So um, a while ago, in the wake of the Tatiana Jefferson murder, activists who felt that Fort Worth was not doing enough to address the problem of killing a lady inside her own house.
Yeah.
And they have a point. They have a point. So they had a very normal ass demonstration that included a coffin painted with fake blood, not real blood,
Yeah.
that said A period Jefferson. Very clearly a reference to a Tatiana.
Hmm.
And they put it on Maddie's yard.
Hmm.
Uh, that is a normal ass exercise of First Amendment rights. That is frankly low level
Yeah.
troublemaking. Like
Yeah.
that that's quite tame. But because it's Fort Worth and because it's Tarrant County,
Yeah.
they investigated an organizer named Patrice Jones for terroristic threat.
Hmm.
Now, you don't have a law degree, as far as I know. You
No.
could probably get one in a week or two. Um, the the penal code is very clear on what a terroristic threat is,
Yeah,
and that ain't it, man.
yeah,
There has to be some danger in that the elected official is placed in, or
yeah.
you don't have to be elected to be a victim of a terroristic threat. But Maddie Parker very much was not the victim of a terroristic threat, but she certainly has acted as though she were. And when Ms. Jones came to council to speak at one point, the mayor alleged that she said, "I still have your coffin, Patrice," which is a very strange thing to say.
Yeah,
Also, when people come to speak at open mic before council, you're not actually allowed to address them. The
yeah,
Open Meetings Act is pretty fucking clear on this.
yeah.
You can respond to simple inquiries, but you also shouldn't. And a seasoned elected official like Maddie Parker should know that. And so this is all against the backdrop of Maddie Parker trying to limit the number of times that Fort Worth residents can come speak at City Hall,
Hmm.
down to 10 a year. Um, and so I don't think that's great.
Yeah,
I have said many times that that's not great because unfortunately, Mike Rawlings passed the same rule when I was on council, which is still the rule as far as I know in Dallas. And
hmm,
so I don't know. I would if 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 Mayor Parker cares what I think, and let me tell you, she does not. Um, Nice lady, she's been very good to me, but maybe back away from this one just a little bit,
yeah,
just slightly, because what happened this last week is a ton of people signed up to speak to call for Mayor Parker to apologize to Ms. Jones, who I got to tell you has done nothing wrong.
yeah.
There is no argument here that Patrice Jones has overstepped any lines. And I don't know, you know, I do understand getting wound up because certainly I get wound up, but this is one to back away from.
No, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, is Dallas down to 10 meetings a year that
Well, it's one per month, which winds up being 10 a year.
because there's no August meeting, right?
There's no July
Oh,
meeting,
July, sorry.
and there's
Yeah.
basically no December meeting.
Yeah, fair. Okay. I didn't realize that.
Maybe you could get to 11 if you tried hard,
Yeah.
but I got to tell you, they make it impossible and they make it where you don't want to try hard because they take the first five speakers in the morning and they
Yeah.
take everybody else at the
Yeah.
end of the meeting, which is an undefined time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
And listen, I've sat in so many hours of public comment,
Yeah.
and people who are commenting on an individual item on the agenda, typically the value of their commentary probably hovers on a 10 scale at around a 2.5. And people who speak in the open mic portion of the meeting, the value of their comments averages less than one.
Yeah.
So it
It's
is,
pretty bad. I've watched it and the open mic stuff is usually like they're either crazy about fluoride in the water or they were sent by Monty Bennett to talk about crime.
or they're suffering severe mental illness, which is very hard
That
to
too.
watch.
Yeah, that is
More
true.
than one time I have asked City
Yeah.
Hall security to see if we could do some kind of welfare check on people who
Yeah.
came to speak
Yeah.
because it's very, very hard to watch. And I feel for elected officials because it is a massive waste of time, except it's the only way to govern.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have
it's
to
true.
have it. And if you don't want to listen to public comment, you should not be in office. In fact,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be inside City Hall.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, and obviously, like I hadn't really heard this story before. I mean, like I think you're right about that not rising to the level versus, you know, I take something that happened here in Dallas, for instance, recently, and like obviously like I am not a huge fan of like Councilwoman Kara Mendelson, but like when her home was vandalized and people were like graffitiing that like she was a killer and things like that, like on her own house, like that strikes me as much more like targeted and needing a response as opposed to, you know, what happened to Mayor Parker's like clearly just being like a protest and not a threat against her or her family.
You get full credit for that section of the bar exam.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
That's exactly the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And like obviously like I think everyone was like very sympathetic to Mendelsohn and like what her and her family had to endure during that. You know, even though I don't agree with her a lot on like policy and like some of the votes she takes on council.
Yeah, and you know, if we're talking about the reason somebody did that,
Yeah.
it is because Kara holds some very poisonous opinions about U.S. foreign policy.
Yeah, which isn't her
But
job.
there is no fucking excuse
Yeah.
for vandalizing somebody's house or legitimately making them feel physically threatened, which is not
Yeah.
what happened to Mayor Park.
Yeah. And I think anyone would have felt any reasonable person would have felt
Oh
threatened
yeah.
under what she had to endure. But I mean, yeah, I mean I don't disagree with what you said, like in terms of like, you know, why it was done. It's just like somebody having views that I disagree with, like should not have to endure that just because they hold views that I find incorrect.
Correct. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah.
And it's a reason, honestly, it's a reason why leftists and the Democratic Party and racial justice advocates need to fucking calm down about hate crimes.
Yeah.
That is a violation of the marketplace of ideas. And there
Yeah.
are people who have terribly bad ideas, and sometimes it leads them to violence, but it's the violence that's illegal, not their
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah. Oh well. Do you want to
Same
talk?
reason to not murder Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
Don't
don't do
fucking
it.
do this.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't fucking do it. Oh God. Do you want to
Um,
talk City Hall now? Like the literal
yes,
building? Okay.
yes.
I think you have stronger opinions than I do. Do you want to start?
City Hall is, in my opinion, and I think I'm actually maybe in the majority here. I.M. Pei,
Yeah.
legendary architect, Pritzker Award winner, it's his worst building. Any architect who has more than one building actually executed in his or her life has a worst building, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Fair.
We drew the short straw on this one.
But
Um,
we also kind of told him what we wanted. We told him something stupid.
we selected him, and by
Yeah.
we mean J. Eric Johnson, the first Eric
Yeah.
Johnson mayor of Dallas.
Yeah.
Um, and it's there's a whole debate in architecture about prestige architecture, and we tend to lionize individual designers when in fact, generally these larger projects are the result of teams of
Yeah.
people working together. And so it's all bullshit, and prestige architecture is bullshit. Uh, and there are lots of architects that we've paid lots of money to in the city of Dallas over a long period of time who I mean, the fucking Perot Museum, man. That guy won a Pritzker, not for that building, for sure. But that building is fucking terrible. It's god awful ugly. It makes no sense. It doesn't really function all that well. It's confusing when you're inside. Like it's a bad fucking building, but by God, they hired the dude. So yeah, I mean, you can really fall victim to this, and I think that's kind of what happened to Dallas with IMP. I don't think his building is that bad, but what
No.
he originally designed was only the inverted triangle shape. It didn't have the two buttresses on the south side of the building, or north side of the building, not south side, that now contains stairwells. They
Yeah.
were, this is, no one can prove this, but in what the apocryphal story is that J. Eric Johnson saw the initial drawings and was like, fuck that. That's too radical. You got to do something to tone it down. And so he put in the buttresses.
Okay.
Um, Rudy Bush's best line that he ever wrote, which is saying something because he was a damn good writer, said it resembled the upturned plow of a bulldozer ready to crush the citizen who was trying to enter.
That's funny.
And so anyway, there's been a debate for years and years and years. There has been a movement inside city staff to get rid of the building.
Yeah.
I have worked there. I can attest it's not a um, nourishing place to work. Mostly that's because of the people who are there, not because of the building. But the building ain't great. Like it's bare
Yeah.
concrete everywhere. Brutalism is in fact brutal as fuck, you know. And so yeah, I can kind of understand it. And so what they do periodically is give council wildly overinflated estimates of how much maintenance the building needs. And the new one is $100 million. The last one, well, I don't know what the last one was. The first one I heard was back when I first got elected, and it was 40.
So
And
it's
I'm
like
like,
more than
so
doubled.
somehow it went from 40 to 100 in that intervening time period. And when you dig into it, a bunch of it is they want to basically replace the most of the parking garage, the underground parking
Yeah.
garage. And that absolutely doesn't need to be done. It leaks water. This is the big argument, is that it leaks water. When it
Yeah.
rains, there is rain that comes into the parking garage. Who cares? It has a drain at the bottom. It
So
goes
what
away.
so what you're saying is that it's a free car wash?
Can be.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, what I'm saying is that they are inflating the amount of money it would take to fix the building in an attempt to convince council to get rid of the damn thing.
Yeah.
And so people like Mark Lamster, architecture critic for the Morning News, are rightly saying this is an important piece of architecture, regardless
Yeah.
of my opinion about it. Um, and also, it's a really bad look for a city to tear down its own public spaces to hand to billionaires, which is what is being proposed. That this
Yeah.
would become Miriam Adelson's new development site for a new Mavericks arena, which it, anybody within the sound of our voice who thinks that the city of Dallas should give Miriam Adelson one thin fucking dime is either in need of concussion protocol or just a bad person. I don't I that idea should be such a laugher. And the fact that it's not in modern day America is such a symptom of what's wrong with us, that we would just
Yeah.
give billionaires money. I mean, it's the bread and circuses thing, but
It is.
Caesar paid for
But
his own goddamn arena, you know?
yeah.
And so I don't know. I hate the entire argument. Um, and I, and the other thing that Chad West pointed out this week, very smartly, is that the reconfiguration of the convention center actually frees up enough acreage for a new arena and the additional retail, which is what the Adelsons actually want.
Yeah.
So there's actually no need to tear down City Hall.
Yeah. I mean, I actually like the building. I agree with the preservationists that it has value. I also I think as we go into this, like it needs to be clear-eyed. Like we either fix City Hall or we don't have a City Hall. There's no new City Hall because building a new City Hall would be more expensive than the maintenance, right? Like probably by like threefold, if not more.
2 to 3, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm gonna say threefold because
I
somebody's gonna
would
screw
say
it
we
up
could
along the
just
way.
buy an existing building, but we tried that and we're really bad at it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
So I mean,
honestly, if the city just bought Comerica,
yeah.
that has enough space for all the operations. We could actually combine Jefferson and City Hall and a bunch of administrative work that currently is in satellite locations,
Hmm.
all in Comerica. And Comerica is currently trying to get the Economic Development Department to okay an award of 300 plus million dollars
Hmm.
to repurpose it. That's not going well for them because obviously that's too much money.
Yeah.
That's basically the entire downtown TIFF.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, that could be a thing, but really the right thing to do is fucking buy a new air conditioner and shut up. Like it's just it's so ridiculous. And did we not just vote on a $1.15 billion bond package?
Yeah, but they decided to take all the money out of City Hall, out of it, remember? Like,
Hmm.
yeah. Which then
And then
goes
put it into parks, right? We put it into parks. And then
yeah,
we
probably.
just adopted a budget that ensures that we can't build those new parks because we can't mow them.
Yeah. Well, we can build
Good.
them, we
Yeah,
just can't
good.
maintain them.
A plus all around, folks.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's a weird issue because I think council was acting not for the best of the city government, but essentially what residents wanted, which was like we like the normal residents just like do not care about this building because it like they feel like it doesn't like impact their life versus like filling or like repaving a street or um new park, et cetera, blah blah blah. So the city council and city staff have like always shirked the responsibility to maintain this building. It's kind of gotten to the point that like time to put up or shut up. And they either need to fix the building or let it go. And I think, to your point of the Mavericks and the Mavericks organization might want all this space at City Hall. I mean, I do not like the Mavericks ownership. I think they're both stupid and corrupt. But I mean, I can't imagine the city losing the Mavericks, as it's going to be a huge poison pill. It's going to suck. It's going to be terrible. We're going to hate ourselves for doing it. Everyone that like actually looks at it clear-eyed is going to view this as like a shit sandwich, but like we're going to have to eat it. Because I don't think this city can handle losing the Mavericks. And I think the general population and people that like live and breathe this like know that. And as terrible as they are and as terrible as what we're gonna have to do to keep them, like you gotta keep them. You can't let them go to Irving. And now the city has the dual threat of now that the Mavericks are doing the extremely, I mean, because I mean, all this is stemming from the fact that the Mavericks are so stupid, they want to leave American Airlines Center in Victory Park, which is a perfect setup for them.
It's
Um,
not though, because they don't
well,
own anything around there. And that's
well,
what they
okay,
want. They want retail associated with the venue,
yeah,
similar to what the Rangers have in Arlington.
yeah, but I think the literal space at Victory is perfect, and the
It is.
actual solution is the Mavericks and Stars work to buy up all the land around them. I think that is the actual solution here. I do not think
Who do you
either
think
one.
owns that?
I know, I know. Yeah. So I get it. Okay. But like Victory itself and like that lower part of Uptown is kind of like the perfect place to do a large arena with an NBA team, an NHL team, and some of the biggest concerts for the region. Like it just is perfect.
On transit that connects both Dallas,
Yeah,
Arlington, Fort
and
Worth,
Fort Worth,
that connects the entire
Plano.
region, basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it could not be better,
yeah,
except that it doesn't make the already multi-billionaire family, the Adelsons, more fucking money.
yeah, yeah. And I do view whether it be like by convention center, whether it's we, gift them City Hall Plaza and all that space, like I view all that as inferior to Victory Plaza. Um,
Well, it
yeah,
certainly is
yeah,
today, right?
certainly today. But I, but to your point, like obviously this is a region that like doesn't love to use public transportation, but like there's two main things people use public transit for, and it's right now the state fair. Like I took my family on DIST Fair Day, and like the trains were jam-packed. People love taking the trains to the state fair. The other one legitimately is if you're going to American Airlines Center. Like
Yep.
those trains are jam-packed too.
And I mean, if Arlington had transit, people would use transit to get to Cowboys and Rangers games.
That is true. I agree with that 100%. No, so I mean, leaving Victory is probably a generational blunder for the Mavericks, and they're gonna possibly regret it no matter where they go. But they want to go. And I think the city has an obligation for both economic reasons as well as morale or what it means to be a city in America to keep an NBA team. Like,
I
you know,
think I would have agreed with you, at least with regard to the political implications before the Luka trade. I think the Mavericks so harmed themselves that there
yeah,
is now not public sentiment in favor of helping them. And if they leave, we'll be sad, but we'll get over it. And also, guess what we'll get? An expansion team or somebody moving here. Like it is not a
they're
real
not going
threat
to do
to
two
me.
NBA teams in the Dallas market.
It's not a real threat to me. I just
Okay.
don't see it. I do not see it. And the other thing I would say is you said economically, and that
Yeah.
is horse shit. The Mavericks are a net drag on the city,
You think
even
so?
today, because we spent so much money setting up all that shit over there for
Okay. Fair
them.
enough.
How much tax revenue have we collected since the AAC went into operation? I
Yeah,
don't think
well,
it's $400 million.
no, but well, are you saying AC or are you saying like victory as a whole? Because like
I-
the like
I'm saying from having the Mavs here and what they bring to the city. What
okay.
they bring to the city is entertainment.
Hmm.
It's something that people like that makes them feel good about the city.
Yeah.
That's all real. There's a
Yeah.
little bit of travel associated with it. We bring in
Yeah.
some traveling
Yeah.
fans. But in general, there is no economic argument for modern American professional sports unless you have a system like the Packers, where the people in the city literally own the team. Um, Otherwise, it's a massive loser. I mean, and you can see it. I mean, this is the argument we're having. The reason that they want to move is to fleece a city,
Yeah.
either us or some other city. They want us to pay for their private enterprise. And I mean, you can love the Mavericks as much as you want, although if you do, you're a fucking idiot. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, what a shit ass team.
Okay, so
But
you're saying I need to return the Cooper flag jersey I got you for Christmas?
yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
And I mean, it's just they're I don't know. Maybe if you're a big enough city, there is a way that you can kind of look sideways at it and say it kind of makes sense. For Dallas, I'm very sure that if you total up all of the ones and zeros, you wind up with either a break even or a net drag from professional sports.
Okay.
People love them, but people also love fucking heroin. Like there are lots of things that are bad for us that we love.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you think from what I can tell though, like the Mavericks really seem like they're either going to stay in the city or move to Irving. And it seems like they're down to like those two options. Does that sound about right to you?
I'm getting the sense that they really disfavor Irving.
Yeah.
That they are restarting negotiations with the city of Dallas because they're dissatisfied with Irving.
Yeah. And their
Um,
council has like basically refused, probably under the same argument that like Arlington is kind of a shithole to live in because they completely sold their souls to the Cowboys.
Do you know that a Latino city council rep in Arlington one time showed me a map of Arlington
Yeah.
with the parks, Arlington
Yeah.
parks marked in it. And this has been several years, so they could have corrected some of this. And it's very noticeably concentrated in one quarter of the city, all the parks in Arlington. And he's like, guess what's not in that quarter of the city? Latinos.
You gotta, I mean, I gotta give the city council credit. They're building parks everywhere. They truly are.
Yep, they
They
are.
they
Yep.
find they find
And
an empty
and
lot, there's gonna be a park there.
do you have to give Eric Johnson credit?
He's parks mayor. You gotta give
I
he's
think
sports mayor and he's parks mayor. You gotta give him
man,
credit.
I think you got to give him credit for this.
Yeah, no, it's true.
He certainly didn't do a bad job on this part.
No, no, not yeah. And I mean, I would need to do like more like research and learning on it, but like I still think that like the amount of like economic activity around NBA, NHL in an urban part of a city is still probably worth it for I'll say for like normal operating, like essentially like most cities, most regions have combined NBA, NHL. Like they do. Like it's very rare not to have combined. And so like
Because
AAC,
the venue works so perfectly.
exactly. The idea of separating them to me
Not a lot of
is
NHL, MLB.
no, no, not at all. Yeah, but I mean separating to me is generational blunder, but it's not the city's choice. It's the Mavericks' choice. And at this point, like it feels like that ship has sailed. Like and again, like it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like even if we assume like okay, we want to make like another billion fucking dollars, right? And like we need all this like basically free land in Dallas, blah blah blah. We want an entertainment district, blah blah blah. Like why not bring the stars in? Like it's only gonna make you more money. I just like I don't like again like the Mavericks are corrupt and they're stupid. And like that's essentially like the problem that we're constantly running into. But now the Mavericks being corrupt and stupid is giving the Stars wandering eye too. Though I don't think they're gonna
Oh,
leave.
no, that all happened concurrently. Last year, in December, when Kim was interviewing for the full-time job,
Yeah.
Gallardi and somebody from the Adelsons um, called and threatened her.
About
We're gonna leave. You got to
okay.
figure out how to get us a new arena.
Well, I'm not saying the Stars started this like within the past 2 months. I'm just saying like I don't think the Stars would be where they are today without the Mavericks doing what like based on the timeline that I have seen, I think the Mavericks kicked this off, right? Through their bad behavior with the Stars and AAC and blah blah blah.
There's always been a little bit of conflict there
Yeah.
for sure,
There's
but the other
there's
thing that's going on there is
long-term
you're right.
tensions.
You're right. Moving the Stars to Dallas, they were a that was an unsure future
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
And the success of the Mavericks has absolutely made the Stars way, way more successful
Yeah.
than they otherwise would have been. But
Yeah.
now they're self-sustaining and they
Yeah.
know where their fans are, and they're all way north of here. How many black people you see at Stars games?
Fair enough. No, but I mean I still don't think that logic makes sense for the Stars. Like there is a very real reason why NBA and NHL teams are almost universally in like major commercial areas of
Hmm.
cities. And it's because, if you're the Cowboys or an NFL team, and like a lot of NFL teams play in the burbs, like fucking New York City, their teams play in the burbs. And that is saying something because like New York City is about as urban as you can get in this country.
And
Um,
it's really bizarre because the Yankees kind of proved you don't actually have to go to the burbs.
yeah, exactly. But NFL. their natural business model does really work for the suburbs. Like Arlington works for them because it's like
Hmm.
you have what, like 10-ish home games a year probably.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, and if you're less lucky, you got like eight, I think.
Oh, I'm not counting preseason because it doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Okay, but yeah, like let's say 10-ish, and they're pretty much all like Sundays, right? They're pretty much all weekends. Like you get some
Hmm.
Monday, you get some Thursday. Sorry.
But it's rare enough
But
that people will put up with Arlington not having public transportation.
yeah, because it's like an all day Sunday thing versus NBA and NHL. There's so many games in a season, and so many of them are weeknights that you're really relying on like corporate ticket sales and
Exactly.
suites. And like, no disrespect to like Plano or Frisco, but like they do not have the economy to sustain that versus like Uptown Dallas does. And all those, Plano fans, where do you think they work? They work in Uptown Dallas and North Dallas for the most part, you know? So that is why the Star staying in Uptown Dallas makes the most sense for them, in my opinion. Like, I don't care that like an average season ticket holder probably lives, geographically like up in like northern Dallas County or something like that. Like that's not their business model, and I just can't really comprehend why they don't understand that.
Well, and yeah, if you're getting invited by some corporate ticket holder that you have a business relationship with because of that business relationship,
Yeah.
part of what they are buying those tickets for is because on a random Tuesday, they're
Yeah.
creating an event for you, right?
Yeah.
This is an event that you didn't have to plan that produces itself. Like you don't have to do anything other than show up, right?
Yeah.
And is it as much of an event if it's in Frisco? It's
No.
not. Like it's
No.
not close.
Yeah. And the other, going back, okay, to Cowboys, it's like it's NFL, and like people would drive forever to go to an NFL football game. And like God love the Hunt family, who I think are actually like some of, like, I think they are very, very smart in general, like way smarter than me and all that stuff. But like they completely whiffed it moving FC Dallas up to Frisco. Like
Oh my God.
F FC Dallas has some of the lowest MLS attendance in the entire country, and that is pretty consistent.
Despite
Uh,
having a fan base that is knowledgeable and
yeah,
incredibly focused on youth soccer.
yeah, yeah. They just that the Frisco gamble did not pay off, and that is why like if you tell me like Mavericks or Stars are moving to like the Las Colinas part of Irving, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like Las Colinas actually does have enough like corporate activity and is like centrally enough located. It makes sense. Like I don't love it as like an urban Dallasite, but I get it. Like the numbers clearly work. And like NFL and MLB
And
being
you can
in
ride dart there.
Arlington, you can ride dart there. That's true too. Yeah, I mean, like Irving, to their credit, makes a lot of sense. Like Arlington for NFL, MLB makes a lot of sense. Like Frisco, other than like their rinky-dink little minor league sports, like you cannot do major sports up there. The population does not exist yet. Like we can like look at all the like percentage growth numbers all we want, but like Dallas and Tarrant County are still the lion's share of the population for the region. Doesn't matter. Like, I mean, yeah, great. Like Frisco's gaining like 10,000 people every once in a while, but Dallas and Tarrant have all the people still.
Yep. Well, and you, I have just proven by this extended discussion of professional sports that politically speaking, there is very little difference between sports and politics.
Yeah.
The
It's
two are incredibly linked.
yeah. It's hard decisions. It's people having to look out for themselves. It's tough. And so I mean like I think the city government is going to do whatever it takes to save the two, and it's going to be fucking terrible. And I do not fault them for what they're going to have to do, because I think you're right. Like people hate the Mavericks right now, but like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, like if the Mavericks are playing in Irving, people are gonna look back on it and say like, why didn't we eat the shit sandwich?
Well, I'm dusting off my 30-year-old it's a bad deal political signs from the AAC debate.
I know. And yeah, AAC is awesome. Keep it. Stay in AAC. Give the Mavericks some land near the AAC. They're just too stupid to take it.
I was scarred because I grew up in San Antonio and lived through the Alamo Bowl,
Yeah. And now
the Alamo Dome.
the Spurs are threatening to leave not only the city but
Ooh,
the region.
they're losing. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
San
Yeah.
Antonio is weird. It's very different from when I grew up there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that is like a great case of like people, to my understanding, like people here like hate the Mavericks organization, but like San Antonio loves the Spurs in a way that like we can't understand because it's all they got.
I can understand it because I grew up there, and so I have a Spurs shirt
Yeah.
that is a Loteria card that has Manu Ginobili as Christ with
Yeah.
the Sacred Heart. You know
Yeah.
that image?
Yeah. Yeah.
He has a basketball instead of the Sacred Heart, and the Loteria card is named El Manu.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that I
Because
you
that's how
know,
we feel about
yeah, I mean
it.
he's like Dirk, like Dirk is like the patron. If Dirk just said like, "Hey, I'm running for mayor in 2027," like that election's over. It doesn't matter. Like he's the next mayor.
I agree, and that's been tried,
I
and
know
it
he's not going to do it. 0% chance. Not under 1%. It's literal zero, but like that's what he means to the city. That's what the
yeah,
Mavericks could mean to the city if they weren't idiots right now.
yep. All right, man, I've got
Yeah,
to
bounce.
go
Yeah,
do work that benefits somebody.
that's
Although
unfortunate.
I think we're doing a service to the listener here.
Okay, all of them.
Have a great weekend.
You too, bye.